Welcome to the Surfside PPC podcast. Go to surfsideppc.com to join Surfside PPC Premium and ask your questions. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 7 of the Surfside PPC podcast. Today, I'm just going to be answering one question. So, quick update, if you are looking for my course, I do have my first 9 modules released for my 2026 Google Ads course. So basically, if you go now, you'll at least have a good background and good high-level overview of Google Ads if you're just getting started with it. Going to keep adding modules there, so $34.99 a year, and you'll basically have access to my Google Ads education for as long as you want the yearly subscription. So we're going to get right into it today. And the main thing I want to focus on is really, I got a question that's like, how do you go about setting up brand new accounts? So new Google Ads account, the tutorial, new Google Ads account strategy. So basically that's what I'm going to be going over today. It was a really long, detailed question. So I will put the question in now, and then we will actually answer that question and kind of go through everything. So let's put in our question for the episode.
I am launching a new Google Ads account for a dermatologist. I am not sure the best steps to get started, and I have a limited budget that I do not want to waste. What is the best way to launch a new account and a new campaign on Google Ads to avoid wasting my budget?
Okay, so question number 1, brand new Google Ads account. So in this case, this was for a medical office. So I try not to disclose too much information about who reached out to me. This is specifically for a dermatologist. So dermatologists reached out to me and asked, hey, we're launching Google Ads brand new. What are the things that you would do if you were launching a brand new account? And there's a lot of steps to take. And it's one of those where launching a brand new account is very difficult. If you're launching a brand new Google Ads account, my recommendation is generally talk to a professional who does it all the time if you don't do it all the time. That's to use a dermatologist, it'd be like me trying to self-diagnose something on my skin using Google, and a dermatologist would laugh at me and say, well, this is why I do this all day, and this is why I went to school for this. And basically, people who run Google Ads and use these platforms on a daily basis just have a background that you're not going to have where you understand how it actually works. So that'd be my first recommendation, is not spending tons and tons of money on Google Ads to realize that it's a really difficult thing to do, especially when you're first launching. So here would be my recommendation when you're launching. If you're brand new, and you could contact me. I do provide consulting. I do provide ongoing management, and it will save you money in the long run. So I would recommend reaching out to a professional. If you don't want to do that and you're like, hey, I want to do this myself, these are the steps that I would take. If you're an agency, if you're a marketer, you're launching brand new, you need to launch a new Google Ads account for your business. Hiring somebody is just out of the cards right now. I get it. So basically what I would do is create your Google Ads account. The very first step for me is always conversion tracking. So the most important conversion you can actually send to Google Ads is actual customer data. So if you could actually say, here is my CRM, here are all the customers that come in it every single month, and tie it back to Google Ads, that's the number one thing that you can do to start your Google Ads account. So if you're a dermatologist, if you have a CRM that integrates directly with Google Ads, and there are some things health-wise where you have to use certain CRMs where it does actually protect patient data. So there are some limitations to this on the health side, but you should still be able to track these successfully. Google's not going to not track your offline conversions. So these are called offline conversions. Basically, people are calling you, people are filling out your form. Those are important things to actually track as well. But the most important thing to track is actual customers. What is driving you actual customers? For an e-commerce website, for example, you're tracking purchase conversions tied back to the source. In this case, you're doing the same thing, but you just connect your CRM so it actually works. So that is going to be step number 1, is uploading offline conversions. And that could also be importing data from so CallRail actually has built-in ways to do this as well. You just have to go back in and import that data later. So CallRail, what converts? If you have here are the 30 leads that we got this month, you could basically figure out, okay, this is how much those leads actually paid with us. I do have clients that track this really well. And the main thing that we always kind of focus on is lowering how much we're spending per lead, per job. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's one of those, but that's the best way to actually track that and do that. The next things you want to do are track phone calls and lead forms. So I do all of this with Google Tag Manager. If you're looking for a tutorial for how to do this, I do have them on my YouTube channel and within my course as well. So all of this is within my course if you're looking for the step-by-step, and also on my YouTube channel. So what you want to do is set up conversion tracking, From there, my very first step is creating a search campaign that works. So search campaign, organize ad groups, send people to the right pages. So if you're tracking conversions, your next step is we need to set up really strong targeting. You set up really strong targeting, then you're most likely going to drive conversions. And then you have to focus on your bidding. So when you're first launching a new account, the biggest challenge is your bidding. Bidding used to be easier at first, and now it's easier long term, but you have to get to a place where your Google ads actually work in order to bid successfully. So you need to get conversion data in so you could actually bid for more conversions. So that's kind of the ultimate goal of Google ads. And when you really think about it, Google ads isn't going to work quickly or overnight. Like when you think about how it works, the goal is to get data into your account. If you're launching brand new, your account is brand new. If you've been running ads for the last 10 years, really none of that matters, but the last like 30 to 60 days, it seems. So really the thing that matters is most recent data. Now there's a step I really didn't talk about that it really does come first, but it's one of those that as you're building your campaign, you might find, you know what, we need a lot more pages on this website, but building out good landing pages first and foremost. And when I say landing pages, I just mean pages on your website. So landing pages are pages you send traffic to. It doesn't have to be something on a separate website. It doesn't have to be a completely separate page where you're driving traffic to with the intention of driving leads. Your website should be set up with the intention of driving leads. And you don't need a separate standalone page where people can't click to, because ultimately you're trying to just get people to your website. So landing pages, building out your website, what I always say that the number one thing you can do is every service area having a page for it. That might be 300 pages in some case if you have a lot of services and a lot of service areas, but that's going to set you apart in Google ads. So you even have one page that's basically like, hey, we provide, tree services in Texas. It's kind of like, okay, that's pretty open-ended. That's not really going to tell you a whole lot and not going to be really helpful if we're being honest. So basically what you're trying to do first and foremost is set up a really nice website, set up really good conversion tracking, and then ultimately you really want to focus on how you can drive really good targeting so that you can bid for more and more conversions. Your goal is telling Google about your business in Google ads so that you can drive more conversions and more revenue. Get revenue data into Google ads and you could actually bid for revenue. So that's kind of my main focus right now, is getting as much conversion data as I can in every single account I work in. So the next thing is going to be basically creating additional campaigns and using all the features that Google Ads has. So Performance Max is a campaign that I run. There are some limitations on the health side, but just because of personalized advertising. I still think on the keyword side and what people are searching, there's still plenty of value for running Performance Max, even for health. You're going to get a sign that says it's limited by health in personalized advertising, which is perfectly fine. It still performs really well. It still uses your conversion data and the targeting that you're using to effectively target the right people and make sure that you're driving additional conversions. Performance Max has sort of replaced like the old display campaign for me, where I use it for, it's way different, but I use it for retargeting. I use it to run video ads. You upload images, you get a ton of ad copy in there. So I go in and just tons of ad copy, tons of asset groups, get as many assets as we can created, image, video, because ultimately what you're trying to do is test all of these things so you can figure out what works, drive additional conversions. For a dermatologist, I would set up separate asset groups for some of the different practices that some of the different things that you might be focused on. If it's acne, for example, then have a specific asset group for acne care and, visit us for acne relief, however you want to use that. So I would say the biggest mistake I see most people making is they don't know how to target. So within a search campaign, not targeting the right keywords, not targeting the right keyword match types. There's a pretty simple formula that I use and it works. So phrase match keywords, make sure every single keyword contains service and a location. And that's generally going to work, and a service plus near me. So the main thing is just separating out your keywords into separate ad groups, giving people the right ads, giving people the right landing pages, creating really effective pages on your website so that you can take advantage of Performance Max features and what will eventually be AI Max features. And ultimately long term, I think with Google ads, I think we're going to see a lot of clicks and we're going to see a lower cost per click long term, which is kind of odd to say, but we're going to see lower conversion rates. And we just kind of have to live with the fact that there's not going to be this straight one-to-one, hey, we're targeting the keyword dermatologist near me, which you still should do. But it's almost like, do we just target 10 keywords, the main 10 keywords that we have as broad match keywords, and just live with it and add negative keywords and optimize for those 10 keywords and then build a performance max campaign? Do we create large keyword lists? Do we create multiple search campaigns with different goals? So there's going to be a lot of strategy going on in Google Ads. This is why I think sometimes when people start like saying, I could do this myself, in certain instances, in certain businesses, if somebody's created everything for you and it's working, yes, you can run it for a little while, but you're going to fall behind unless you hire somebody who is sitting in the account and doing this stuff every day. So it's just, that's kind of the main difference that I generally see in accounts that I'm managing for, especially a brand new account. And a lot of brand new accounts, what happens is people launch them, they think it's going to work, they run the ads for a month or two, and they say, yeah, I've been running ads for a month or two. They come to me and I look and there's been several $1,000s, sometimes a lot more in spend. And it's like, you guys should just hire me to manage this because I can see how much you're wasting. You could pay that to me and I will get your stuff on track. So obviously I don't mean to sit here and sell all my services. You could hire anybody, like hire a professional if you don't know what you're doing with a brand new account. If you're a marketer that's trying to learn, then really the process for me is, I mean, the first step would be building out landing pages, building out a really professional, beautiful website that goes over all the services, the service areas, sells the business, why people should hire them. That's really important. Your goal is to build trust as quickly as possible with your end landing page, with your Google business profile. So that's kind of number one. Number two is going to be setting up conversion tracking so Google Ads actually knows what works. Number three is creating the right targeting within your search campaigns. So setting up really organized ad groups, sending people to good landing pages, creating really effective advertisements, using assets, call assets, location assets. And then it's going to be running the campaign, collecting data. Once you have data, then it's about bidding for more conversion. So switching to a target CPA, target return on ad spend, just really depends on how you're tracking your conversions. There's a lot of details in here, but that's ultimately the high level overview of launching a brand new account. Conversion tracking, get the right targeting, get conversion data, and then bid for conversion. So that will wrap up episode number 7. Thank you for listening. You can join Surfside PPC Premium for $5 a month. Otherwise, I will see you on episode number 8.
Thanks for listening to the Surfside PPC podcast. Please go to surfsideppc.com for management or consulting options, or to get my course or Surfside PPC Premium through my YouTube channel, my school page, or my Patreon. Please subscribe.